order the Historic and Architectural Review Board meeting on this Wednesday, November 6th. Our first order is the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, new business we have this evening is HARB 2019-17, which is 309 South Wayne Ave. Partially demo existing garage, rebuild, converting the existing 1.5-car garage to a 3-car garage. Is that, okay. Would you like to come up to the podium and give us a little overview of what you're looking to do there? We also have a mic if you want to hold it, or that one should be active.
No, this one's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, there's an existing garage at 309 South Wayne Avenue. That's probably a 1.5-car garage. And they would like to, my homeowner would like to make that into a 3-car garage. So we're going to reuse a portion of the existing foundation and then add on to that.
I'm sorry, could you give us your name, please?
My name's Tori Marks, and I'm the builder.
So generally speaking, what we're interested in for this board is what we're going to see from a public right-of-way, and just how what you've designed and what you're building matches the look and feel of the neighborhood, of the house, the main house on the property, things like that. So if you could go into a little detail, that would help us out.
Okay. I did, in the pictures I submitted, I did give the street view, just so you can see what it looks like from the street. So on this page, that's the view from the street. So the garage is pretty far back behind the house. And then this is what it looks like up close currently. So the architect, Brett Hand, when he designed it, the homeowner's request was to make it match their house, make it look like, have some of those same design elements. So I'll take the plans out and just point out some of those. So that's the front of the proposed garage. And then this is a picture of the other two pictures there are the house. So the rear of the house and then also the front of the house. So it has the same little brackets in the eave, exposed rafter tails that the house has. The house is stucco. This will be siding with some stone on the front to match the house, because the house also has stone on the front, on the lower level.
Just like to give some background on this house. Radnor Township records say it's contributing property in the historic district, that it was built in circa 1890. The architect was Price Brothers, and the builder was Wendell and Smith. property records for Delaware County, PA say the house was built in 1900. Its style is colonial. And according to Radnor Historical Society records, this house was built circa 1894 to 1895. The architect was Boyd and Boyd, so there's some difference here, yeah. And the builder was Wanup and Young. Also, too, I can say, checking out a property map of 1913, there's 0 outbuildings in the back of this house at that time. So this is more or less a modern construction
Yep.
for an old house. My question is, what is the square footage of the primary house? Do you have that?
I don't have
Living
that.
area? You don't? Okay. Now, as far as the garage, what is going to be the total square footage of the garage? I didn't quite see that on your design plans unless I had missed it, but total square footage of the proposed garage,
Of the footprint or of the storage space upstairs as well?
just the footprint,
Just the footprint.
yeah.
About 828.
Okay. Well, actually, I do. Is it, the existing garage square footage is 412 square feet? Is that about right?
Yeah, 414, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
And the proposed garage square footage would be about 824?
Yeah, slightly less. I didn't take out for the little bump in the back, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to keep in mind that the proposed new garage will be double the size of the one that already exists there.
Yep.
Have you
A bit
had,
more with that. What is the overall height of the original garage?
Can I estimate it? I
Sure.
don't know exactly.
Sure.
I would say probably 14 or 15 feet.
Okay. And what is the overall height of the proposed garage?
That will be more like 18.
18 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And thank you for presenting with us.
What's that? Not according to the plans? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I see that dimension on there. So probably, let me correct myself, probably 24 feet. Yep, you're right.
24 feet for the proposed garage?
Yes.
Okay. That's going to be a very big building back there, in my opinion, just based on the numbers.
So, I mean, our concern is just that it is going to fit in with the house itself and the character of the neighborhood. It looks like the design and some of the features that it's bringing out are similar to the house, so I think that's great. I'm just having a problem understanding how much of it we're going to see from the street. And it seems like, right.
Yeah, if you look at that
I would agree with that.
picture, you might see 2 garage doors, maybe 2.5 from the street, from a width-wise. You will be able to see the full heights, yes.
One of the other things I'd like to mention too, and I was walking around that area, that immediate area, I don't think that I saw a three-car garage. I think most of the garages, if the house has a garage, are two-car and one-car. Have you observed that too?
No, you can see the one 326 Luella Avenue has a three-car garage. It's a little hard to see in my picture. I was going more for design elements than actual, but there is, that did have a three-car garage.
That was the one on the immediate area that you found?
It's the property backs up right behind this one.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Is the house to which it's associated, is that a much bigger house? We're concerned about the scale.
I would guess, yeah, based on what I remember from that street. I'm not positive. But you can see Luella is also a very tall building, probably taller than this one. And then if I can also just point out, right next door,
Garage is going to be as big as the house.
this one's 307 South Wayne, so you can see the existing garage in the edge of the picture there. The one right next door is taller. It's not 24 feet. I would estimate that at maybe 18 feet. But that's immediately adjacent, right across the fence line there.
And that's a two-car garage.
That, I believe, is a two-car garage.
Just a little bit concerned about, again, as was mentioned, the scale, but also the rhythm. Would you consider a two-car garage?
I would have to discuss that with my client.
Okay. Because again, I'm concerned that it's going to be a big presence back there, and will bring up issues again of scale and rhythm and flow, in my opinion, at least as far as the dimensions and what you've shared so far.
So here's what we'd like to offer you. We can table this and let you come back at another time with a design that works a little more appropriately for scale for the size of the house and the size of the neighboring garage, which are really the cues that it should be taking from. You won't be charged for an additional application if you just come in for a continuance. So that's what we'd like to recommend, if that's something you're willing to take back to your homeowner.
Sure. So if they do not want to do a a two-car garage, would you still consider them doing a three-car if we can adjust the scale of this? One of their design.
I think that would be reasonable.
Okay.
Because, again, there was no outbuildings back there in 1913. And we look at things for, adaptations for modern use, and obviously cars are one of them. I think we would entertain, or at least I would, a three-car garage if the scale was more in line, or it was a smaller structure. But ultimately, in my opinion, I would suggest a two-car garage. But, I think it's reasonable that we could also look at a three-car garage just because it's a modern adaptation here.
Right. So if we can bring the roof line down shorter, maybe lose some of that space upstairs instead of, I have to ask my client what they're interested in.
If I could mention something. So I don't know that I have a problem with the scale. My problem is I just don't know. The picture that you're giving us of the house from the street is very dark, and it's hard for me to see and visualize what this new building would look like there. So I don't know that it's too big. It might be if it's a lot taller than the garage next to it. I feel like that might make it look a little out of place. But honestly, I think it's just difficult to tell with the materials that you've given us. I don't know exactly how tall this building is. I don't know, we don't know exactly how tall the old building is or the neighboring building is. I can't really see the house clearly and what
Mhm.
space we're filling in. I don't know if you're gonna see all 3 doors and it's gonna look very symmetrical and nice with the house, or maybe you're gonna see like 2 1/4 doors and it's gonna, I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. So I would say, kind of with that, now knowing that that's sort of what we're looking at, I don't know that it has to be a 2-car garage necessarily. What you have might be fine. It's just hard for me to tell from what I'm looking at right now. So I would take a closer look at that and then decide, yes, I feel like this fits with the size of the house and the size of the neighborhood, and it'll work nice. And I think design-wise, I think you're pulling a lot from the original house. So I think that's all that's good. That's usually the bigger problem that we have. So you're good there. I think it's just, we want to make sure that it's not going to dwarf anything nearby. And I just can't tell from what you've provided us.
Janelle, I'd like to give a comment on that, because I saw this property. And what's back there currently is, in my opinion, appropriate as far as like, when I think of like massing, or potential for massing. But when I look at his proposed design, where it's going to be double the footprint, my gut's telling me, in my opinion, it's going to look out of place, if anything. And it's a question of massing and taking away from the principal building, which is a very, very old house from the 19th century, late 19th century. Again, just my opinion, but that's my feeling at this point after actually going and seeing it and what's back there. If other members of the board haven't seen that, I would suggest you go and look at it. Just, take a walk up there. Because, again, in my opinion, after viewing that, this is going to be a substantial structure that's going to stand out and look out of place, at least for that immediate area and also for that house.
And also, if the architect, or if you could provide us with a better idea of how the garage is going to be placed on the lot. I know there was a grade plan in what you submitted, but we don't really need to know the grade because it's very subtle there. It's pretty flat.
Right.
We would really need to see the placement of the house in relation to the street, the location of the driveway, and the placement of the new garage, whatever size your client decides they're going to be happy with.
Right.
There's a lot on that map that's very, it's noise.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that we're going to be looking for.
So if I did that basically that plan again, but take away the noise, so you can focus on the house and the.
Yeah, the scale of everything. It's important. That's why we're here.
Okay.
I'm going to interject because while you think I'm checking my emails, I was actually checking for the square footage of the house and going into our MLS system to bring up public records. So the square footage of the house is 2,879, or very close to 3,000 square feet. Put differently, it's not a small house. And I feel differently from you all. I feel that the plan that was presented is good and deserves to be given consideration with regard to approval. I don't think we have to make it this difficult. I think it is within the scale of the house. I've worked around the corner for 35 years and lived in the township for nearly 50. And I think looking at the house itself, I would have to see the inside to peg a date. I think tax records show it as 1900. It's certainly leaning in that direction, just on the basis of the structure that I see, because it has corner block molding. Have you been inside the house? I trust you have.
I have.
Does it have corner block molding in the framework around the doors? By that I mean little square blocks.
Plinth blocks.
If it does, it's more likely to be 1890s, and 1900 is a nearly perfect line of demarcation for going to a more colonial, dropping that corner block Victorian stuff and going toward a plainer colonial framework.
Yeah, I can't speak to the trim, I don't
I'm
remember.
leaning just
And I know the
just on
house,
the basis of the house, more toward the
Right.
1900, if it,
yeah.
Does anybody have a calculator?
I did.
Your phone doesn't have a calculator?
No, I got a flip phone. I have the same record that you looked up. So, yeah, the building area, I concur, it says 2,879 for the principal house in living space. Now, the proposed garage, its footprint would be about 818
Mhm.
square feet. So if we have 818, right, divided by 2,879 gives us what?
Just a second.
well, almost
818
1435, so,
divided by what, Bob?
well, if you-
2,879.
I'm rounding it off the 79 to 80, and then, you know, it's
What
not rocket
percentage is that?
science from there.
It's about 29%.
29%, okay. Well, when I'm thinking again of an outbuilding and comparing it as far as the scale to the principal building, it always seemed like in most of our cases wanted to keep it below 30% of the total square footage of the principal building. So it's kind of like, you know, right on that line
Might be
there,
well below.
you know, so. but-
We could, well, 3 times 800, and you'd say 40.
No, it's about 29%, 29%.
29%.
No, I'm just talking about the size of the garage.
Um,
The
Oh, the proposed garage is
818.
about 818 square feet. So it's going to be double the size of the garage that's already back there, just in square, you know, its footprint, you know, its size that people will see from the street.
Well, I'm still, I'll have to say, I'm in favor of passage, of considering it as is. I think that, in fact, I was extremely impressed with both preparations, both groups tonight. Both did a really, really good job of background pictures. Probably the clearest pictures in both instances that we've had in many moons. We've been given far worse pictures in terms of
Yeah, no,
background.
I think
Um,
my only issue is that
The
it's
comparisons were made,
so much bigger than
and they're
its
very good.
neighboring garage, and you will be able to see it all from the street. But it is pretty far back, Bob.
that's my point.
It is pretty far back.
I would agree to a point, but again, you can see the vast majority of it from street view if you go there. It's
Can
kind
I-
of like put back there a little.
Can I just mention one other thing? This garage here, 305 Audubon Avenue is the address, but this is the house directly across the street from the subject property, and they also have a 3-car garage with a peak, you know, same kind of gable on the front, like we have.
Again, without knowing those specific dimensions, it's hard to compare garages. Like, if you come back and give us the overall footprint of those 3-car garages in the area, I think that might give us a better perspective as far as comparison.
I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think we can
No.
ask that of someone.
No.
Okay.
Honestly, I think the design is great. I don't know. I don't think the pictures are very good. I can't see the house and the garage in the same picture, so I can't visualize how big this new structure is going to be. That's really my only problem, and it
Well,
might be
without the
fine, like I
structure
said.
being built, it's very hard to visualize. In other words. But a lot of comparisons have been made that are useful, and I think the pictures are good.
I don't know how you can.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we grant acceptance, certificate of appropriateness, as it were.
Would anybody like to second that motion? Anybody like to make a different motion?
I would like to move that we offer a continuance so that we can get a better idea of the scale of the building. And we would look to see you at another meeting with more information so that we can make an informed decision. So I would like to make a motion that we offer the applicant a continuance.
Second?
I second.
All those in favor? All right, so I think we just need a little bit more information to feel confident about our
Yep.
decision.
Yep.
So if it's all right, bring us a little bit more information at the next meeting, and I think we'll be fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do I submit that by the deadline date, and then we're on the next meeting for December, whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
But you won't be charged a second application
Right,
fee.
right.
November 19th. That's the submittal date.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
Yep.
We're going to move on to our next order of business, which is HARB 2019-18, which is 33 Luella Court. New one-car, single-story garage detached, single-story detached garage with stucco exterior walls and asphalt shingle roof to match the existing twin house. Hello.
Hello. My name is Ryan Lavelle. I'm the owner of the house. I've lived there since the beginning of 2016, and we're proposing to build a new garage on the property.
Just like to give a little bit of background information on this house, too. 33 Luella Court, according to Radnor Township records, it's contributing property, built circa 1914 to 1925. Property records for Delaware County, PA say the house was built in 1926. And lastly, Radnor Historical Society records, no further information.
Thank you. So, 33 Luella Court, we have a little neighborhood right downtown. Most people come in the neighborhood and they're like, I didn't know this was here. So, kind of pops out of nowhere. Within the court, my home is located on the north portion of the neighborhood. So that's where we are in location to the other homes on the court. I have some pictures here of some of the other homes on the court. So from what I understand and from my neighbors have told me, a lot of these homes came from a Sears catalog, where you could go down and order the home and, it would be delivered and they would put it together. There really isn't much uniformity within each of the homes on the court. So as you're aware, the Luella Mansion sits in the middle of the neighborhood, and I believe 10 years ago that was completely remodeled for luxury apartments. So I'll just walk through some of the looks and the feels of other homes on the neighborhood. So some homes are twins, some homes are completely detached, like the example here. So the bottom twin, the top one is detached. Some homes in the neighborhood have two-car garages. Some homes on the court have one-car garages. The top example right here is an example where these are both twins, and both homes have two-car garages leading to the rear of the home and long driveways leading to those garages. Here's the twin right here. So my home, 33 Luella Court, is on the right side of this twin. My neighbor Emilio's is on the left here. He also has a one-car garage with a long driveway leading back to it. My direct neighbor to the right has a large detached home. She does not have a garage. Here's a few other homes. This home at the top here was recently remodeled around the same time with the Luella Mansion was remodeled. They, I believe, do long-term renting here. I think there's a connection with the Wayne Hotel right here. It's called Luella Extended Stay. They have a garage in the back there with a very long driveway. And here are some of the other homes on the court. This home right here, this was actually remodeled about 2 years ago. I think this went through a complete remodel as well. And then here's just some pictures of right around the Luella grass area. There's a grass area right across from the home. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, here is the Luella Mansion. You're looking at bird's eye view of the neighborhood. My home is right here. In that. And then here are some pictures of my specific home. And here's some pictures of the backyard from different angles, and then a picture from the street. So, in the same top-down angle, we're proposing to extend the blacktop, very consistent within the neighborhood, and then build a very small one-car garage, keeping intact exactly the look and feel of the home itself. So, let's pull up. So as I mentioned, this is a single car garage. We wanted to ensure the consistency from our home. Have a picture to reference here of just some design cues that we took from the main dwelling. So we're going to use a similar roof and pitch as the main roof and dormer. We're going to match the aluminum K-gutters from the home on the garage. We're going to match the profile of the existing roof. We're matching all proportions of the windows from the house. There's one window that we're proposing on the garage that's down here on the other side. So we'll have a door leading from the house into the garage, and then a window on the other side. The door is also consistent with our front door. And then, of course, matching the materials as far as the color, the existing stucco, it's white stucco, and then matching the scale of the house as it relates to the garage. So we've tried to keep it fairly small, but then keep it very uniform to what the home was.
You are aware of Radnor Township regulations regarding impervious surface as a
Yes.
percentage of the lot?
Yes.
Does this plan for increased blacktop presence and an additional structure, does that fall within the guidelines?
We presented at the zoning board last month in October, and they approved the impervious.
Well, if they approved it, that's fine with me. I just wanted to make sure you'd gone through that
Yes.
process, because it's a lot.
Yes,
You won't have much to mow after this.
yes.
I would just like to say that, in my opinion, it is an exquisite, small, appropriately designed one-car garage for modern use. I really like it.
Thank you.
I motion to recommend a certificate of appropriateness. Do I have a second?
I will second it.
All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. All are in favor. So
All right, thank you.
we will recommend that certificate of appropriateness for you. Thank you very much for presenting to us. And good luck with construction.
It'll look great.
I assume you're with him, so do we have any comments from the public? Okay. Do we have any old business to attend to?
I'd just like to bring up one thing. Just because I found this a couple of months ago when I was doing some research. I think it's like an interesting little factoid here. And since we had an older house that we reviewed earlier this evening, it's kind of like appropriate because the house was from like the horse age to a point. So from Lower Merion Historical Society, right? From Township records, from the 1887 assessment, right, recorded that there were 1,653 horses in Lower Merion Township. And this came from, because,
What you can find when you look for it.
yeah, the society merged with like something that was called the Horse Thieves Association or something, but it became more of a social club. And so that came from their records. And I thought, wow, almost 1,700 horses in that township in the day.
I think we should start having fun facts from Bob every meeting.
Might be too exhausting for me, but I thought I had to share this. I came across it like researching something else, not for our board, and I thought, what an interesting fact, you know. It gives some perspective on, even, late 1800s, how many horses were actually in these townships,
How
It's a
much
lot.
manure.
And that too.
Any other? Do you have any?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye, so moved.
All right, this meeting is adjourned. Our next meeting will be held on December 4th of 2019 with applications needing to be submitted by November 19th. Thank you and have a good night.